must be really great at Clue, huh?
I'm very bad at dumb things. Ticking boxes, running around, searching all the rooms. It's just a terrible, terrible game.
The thing that jumped out at me was the narrative structure of the film, which is quite distinct from the first one.
Yeah.
And I think it plays with the suspension and the onion
Yeah.
imagery. I felt like it actually reflected sort of the metaphor of the film.
He's good.
Good.
He is, right? Yeah. I mean, he's all right. But obviously, what was that pressure like? Obviously, you're the two returning for the sequel. What was that pressure like for both of you, sort of stepping into this second go?
Both of us are, just so kind of, well, actually, I'll speak for myself. what I do that don't involve me is that I think, how I still have to pinch myself that I do this job for a living. But how important it is to sort of, if you're going to do something, if you're going to do a sequel, if you're going to have the chance to get to, you have to up the ante, you have to make it bigger, better, whatever, not necessarily bigger, but you have to make it better than the first one, or at least attempt to do that. And that's where you start, and I know Ryan feels the same, so I can say that. And it was just it was a challenge, a real challenge, but one that was just wonderful to have. I mean, it's like, what a wonderful thing to be able to kind of get a chance to do.
What was the decision to set it sort of in the pandemic? Why did you, because I feel a lot of films are sort of like, avoiding it and being like post, which we're not anyway, right? So why did you decide to kind of?
Because it's No,
I
can't stop talking.
No, please keep talking. This is exciting to me.
I'll shut up. I'm going to go back to sleep.
He's talked all morning. This is like you're drawing him out.
But you're going to get out of it.
No, as I said, I mean, a big part of the whole reason for being for these movies, with the first one and this one, is to take this genre that I adore, the whodunit, but that it has. I would mostly seen as period pieces,
right,
and set it very unapologetically in the present moment. And so I wrote this movie in 2020 during the lockdown, and we wanted to. It's a very serious thing what happened. These are not incredibly serious movies.
Well, we
wanted
had conversations, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, while you were writing it, we were talking to each other, going, I said, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah.
But it feels so. It doesn't feel like it. I don't know. It does.
It's not a cheap shot.
No.
That's what I think. That's what I
Yeah.
feel, and I think it's sort of handled kind of really well.
Well, you look fabulous, which is unsurprising because I feel like anytime you're photographed, your outfits, this is not at all about the film, are just like stunning, completely captivating.
You're so kind. Thank you.
And I guess one of the things that interests me about your character in this film, but also your persona versus who you are, obviously, because those are different people, is this sort of whole aesthetic. Is that something that you are conscious of, that you're bringing to your work in all of these different aspects?
I mean, I think through fashion, you can always tell a story. And I think I want, obviously, with the clothes that my characters wear, whether those characters are created in the music world or in the film and TV space, you want their clothes to kind of say something about who they are and kind of speak for them when they're not talking. And I had so much fun playing around with this character, and I have to give a big shout out to Jenny Egan, who is head of the wardrobe department and like styled everything, head of costumes, and I think it was like my first fitting. When I saw everything, we pretty much kept everything from that first fitting. She just got it. We had one conversation, and she brought in some things that just like.
That's kind of the building blocks of the characters, right? Because it is for us too. How we present ourselves to the world is so key to how we think about ourselves.
Yeah, you can say so many things just through clothing.
I think you also see Benoit is a bit batty, right? He's, obviously. But even once he gets out of the bathtub,
I went full batty.
even when he's on the island and everything, you can see there's like an excitement of like, I'm out of the bathtub, I'm doing things again, which is different from the first film.
I'm out of the bathtub.
I love
the basis for my whole character.
How to get out of the bathtub.
In or out of the bathtub.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there are, exactly, but I mean, and without spoilers, it's kind of important and what happens in the film. there are reasons for everything. So it's sort of that's and that was what was so wonderful to mess around with, and you know, knowing what the movie and how the outcome of the movie and where it goes, and how what we do for the audience, and the journey we take the audience on is hopefully, you know, when people watch it for the second time, which I hope they do, is that they'll see there's all these reasons.
Yeah, the clues. You pick up on the clues.
We try and play it fair.
Watch it back.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that everyone obviously would want to know is, like, would there be a third one? But instead of asking that question, what do you think you would need in order for there to be a third one? Like, what is the kind of key that would unlock a third Benoit Blanc mystery?
The key is landing on something that, first of all, feels different than the first two, and also feels like, you know, like Daniel said before, we both, the only reason for us to keep making these is if we're excited about making them.
Right.
And so a whole new reason for being, and something where we genuinely feel like, oh my God, this is really exciting. It's not just turning the crank on another one. It's like, this is something that feels challenging and exciting. And my God, can we pull this off? Wow, in a way that feels scary in the good way. And you know, as long as we can keep doing that, and as long as, you know,
There has to be that contemporary, because obviously the first one you've got kind of like immigration and those issues, and this one we've got COVID and pandemic and politics, and so there's that third unknown.
Yeah, figuring out kind of what it is that, you know, where the thing is kind of centered around, what the themes are and everything, and figuring out also a story that is gonna be
entertaining
and new and fresh, you know, a whole reason for being for it.
And a new food metaphor.
And new food. Well, we should probably get off food at this point.
For this film, obviously, as a sequel, did you feel the sort of pressure? Because obviously the first film was so well received. Did you feel any of that kind of pressure to live up to the expectations of the first film?
I loved the first film. I was just like, I was, you know, a fan, and I've always wanted to work with Rian Johnson. I was like, if given the opportunity ever, I'm saying yes. And then after reading that script, I was like, hell yes. This is a role of a lifetime, you know. It's so fun, and just, I love the murder mystery genre. I think what he's done in the space, and Daniel as well, like, who just has this iconic role. What they've been able to do is innovate in this space, you know, modernize the characters. Obviously the genre's been around for a while, but I think that there's just a specific tone that only Rian has. And I think, you know, it's not a sequel. You know, they're saying it's an equal.
Right.
Something I heard last night.
Right.
Which is each one of them, to me, you know,
well, it feels very
done,
distinct too from the first one. The narrative structure is so unique to this film in particular.
Exactly. I love.
Obviously, without getting into any spoilers, there's a lot of different, as with all of the characters, you learn things about them as the movie progresses, in part because of the way it's structured. And when I was speaking with Catherine and Leslie before, they were saying that it was very hard to forget what you knew to play in the moment. And I was wondering how you experienced that sort of cognitive shift of having to shut off part of what you knew about where the film was going.
Yeah, I mean, just be present. It's important to me as an actor to not, you know, have this map of what I'm going to say.
Right.
You know, just be present. Like, sometimes your scene partner will throw you some stuff that they in improv, and you just have to roll with it and, like, stay present moment to moment. And that always feels honest, and that's when I feel like I do my best work, when I'm present and moment to moment, and not like listening and I already have my response.
Right.
I know what I'm gonna get out of this scene.
Right.
You know, so
being organic and
stay organic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.